So hi everyone, my name is Robert Dunn. I'm the research coordinator at North Inlet-Winyah Bay. I also want to introduce the collaborative lead on our project, Maeve Snyder, who's on the call, as well as our technical lead, Josh Stone. So we're leading an effort to better understand effects of environmental variability on shrimp populations in estuaries of the Southeast, namely South Carolina and Georgia. And this is an important issue because shrimp fishery is actually worth multiple $1 million per year, and it's experienced highly variable landings over the past 2 to 3 decades. So shrimp, just so everyone's on the same page with the sort of biological background here, shrimp have a multi-phase life cycle that happens on an annual scale where they spend time in both estuaries and the open ocean. So adults are the target of the fishery. They live and spawn offshore. Their larvae then come back inshore into our estuaries where they settle out of the plankton and grow in these estuary nursery habitats before migrating back out through inlets to the coastal ocean. So our project focuses on shrimp populations in 3 reserves in the Southeast, the North Inlet-Winyah Bay, near Ace Basin and Sapelo Island. And our project team includes staff from each of the reserves. And we're really excited about the collaboration because we're bringing together a diverse group of folks with expertise that spans different life history stages of shrimp, fishery managers from state and regional fishery management agencies, and fishing industry stakeholders. So it's a unique combination of folks. So in addition to the reserves that I mentioned, we also have team members from South Carolina Department of Natural Resources and the South Atlantic Fishery Management Council, who's actually the legally mandated entity that manages the regional shrimp fishery. We have fishery extension agents from both South Carolina and Georgia state sea grant organizations who are going to interact with fishing industry folks. And then we have researchers from the University of South Carolina and Coastal Carolina. And the management end users have really already helped shape our project development, and they'll continue to be involved directly throughout the project through a collaborative, iterative process. We'll also be supporting multiple graduate students and numerous undergraduate research interns to work alongside the project team. So the 3 species of shrimp that will be the focus of our project are white, brown, and pinks, all part of the Penaeid family of crustaceans. So white and brown make up the bulk of the fishery landings in our 2 states, South Carolina and Georgia. Brown shrimp start entering the estuaries in late spring, stick around through the summer. White shrimp come inshore a bit later and then hang out in estuaries through the fall and into the winter. And these 2 species are typically harvested by shrimp trawlers operating just offshore, like the one in the photo there on the top right. So our project has 3 main objectives. First, we'll be utilizing numerous long-term time series data sets to conduct historical analysis, looking at relationships between environmental conditions and multiple life stages of shrimp. And so we're excited that our project provides an opportunity to pull together all these unique long-term data sets to gain new insights on the effects of environmental variability on shrimp population dynamics. We'll also be conducting 2 years of field sampling at 3 swamp stations within each of the 3 reserves. So at each one of those swamp stations, we'll be sampling for 3 different life stages of shrimp, as well as their benthic prey. So sampling across different estuarine habitats and across the Southeast region, we think is going to increase the applicability of our results for the management end users on our team. And then lastly, we'll be developing relationships with fishing industry stakeholders to better understand their perceptions of environmental change and the impact that environmental conditions has on the shrimp fishery. So a brief timeline of the project. During year 1, we'll be conducting our historic data analysis and collating existing social science data on the Penaeid shrimp fishery in our region. During year 2, we'll be initiating field sampling, which is going to be informed by the historical data analysis, conducting some lab experiments, and start reaching out to fishing industry stakeholders for interviews. And then in year 3, we'll finish field sampling, finish the lab experiments, and generate a co-produced project summary document highlighting the main findings from both the social science and the life science side of the project. And we'd like to highlight that we recently put together a collaborative charter, which was based on a template that was provided by the Science Collaborative, and maybe Nick or Jane could put that in the chat for us. But we discussed a draft charter with our team that covers things like roles and responsibilities, how our meetings would be run, our general principles of collaboration, but also kind of got into the nitty-gritty details about co-authorship, policy, data sharing policies, among some of the other more specific topics that we needed to dive into as a group. And so we're treating that charter as a living document that we can revisit and modify as needed as the project progresses and we refine our collaborative process.